Hey guys, welcome back or to my channel. My name's Sophie, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing how I passed my medical assisting exam. But first I want to share with you guys my new protein drink that I am obsessed with. This video is in partnership with Ccma, so thank you Ccma for reaching out and working with me. I am obsessed with this drink, or protein shake I guess. So it's just chocolate, it is amazing, it's 100% organic pea protein and rice protein. It's not grainy or chalky, it dissolves awesome. You can enjoy it with your milk, your water, you can add it into smoothies or protein shakes like I'm doing. You can also add it to recipes and make like protein balls, and you can get creative with that. And most importantly, it's non-GMO, non-dairy, no soy, and no gluten, which is super important for me because I try to stay away from gluten as much as possible. I am super obsessed with this brand. Instead of just making willy-nilly products, they really focus on finding a problem and working towards the problem to solve it. If you saw those chunks in that is literally just ice because my blender isn't very good, so it's not chunks from the protein, it is chunks from the ice, I can assure you on that. Ccma does not only have protein powder, but they also have other wellness powders as well as natural skincare. So I will leave a link in the description box and you guys can go check it out. Hey guys, welcome back or to my channel. My name is Sophie if you are new here, and I am going to be filming a video today all about how I got certified as a medical assistant. I have filmed a video kind of like this in the past about kind of like a story time on how I finally passed after failing twice. So if you want to check that out, I will link it up above or in the the description box down below. So you should definitely go check that out first so you can get a little bit of a better understanding of why I decided to go through the NHA, which is the National Healthcare Association. I can link that down below for you guys so you can check it out directly from the link in my description box. And I've realized in that video I didn't really go over like how I got certified, like how I studied, what I did. So that's what I'll be doing in this video. And stay tuned for another video on how I studied for MA school. I was gonna combine them together, but honestly I think there's just way too much. So without further ado, I will show you how I studied, got organized, prepared, all of that for the boards exam. I guess it's like a boards, it's just the certification exam to become legally certified in the United States, or in Wisconsin at least. That's where I'm from. So again, if you haven't seen that other video, definitely go check that out. Let me just fix this. And it'll go over why I decided to go through the NHA. Also, this shirt is from Gap. I can try to find it and link it down below. And I'm just wearing gray sweatpants from Target. I know, not very cute. Okay, so I have some notes down so I don't get sidetracked. If I don't answer anything you guys would like to know specifically, you can always message me on Instagram at sophia.d.dries. I'll put it up here. You can DM me. I try to get back to I do get back to everybody. It just takes me a few days sometimes. Or just leave me a comment down below. Either I will get back to you, or some of my medical assisting followers that watch my videos might be able to get back to you as well. So yeah. So when you go onto the NHA website, you're gonna like sign up, create an account, and then press, I think it's like pick a date and a time or something. So when it comes to picking the date and time, you should definitely think about, first of all, are you gonna be a better test taker on a Monday to start your week off fresh after a long weekend? Or are you gonna be a better test taker on maybe a Thursday or Friday when it's like the end of the week? For me, I always like to take my exams on the weekend or a Monday. And for the weekend, well, I failed the two that I took on weekends, and then the other one I took on a Monday morning, and that's the one I passed. So I definitely want you guys to think about that. Don't just pick a random day. Like, actually think, okay, are mornings, afternoons, weekends, weekdays better for you? It's going to be different for everybody, so that's just something to consider. And then for time, if you are more of a morning person and you just want to get up and get it done, go for the 7:30, 8 a.m. exam. But if you are the type of person that you're going to want to sleep in and take the morning slow and just take the morning to slowly review things and just not have to wake up early, I guess, there will most likely be an afternoon exam slot for you. And then for me, I had to drive 45 minutes away to a local testing center just because I live in a smaller city and they didn't have the testing center near me. So the closest one was 45 minutes. Another tip of advice I have for you guys is don't tell anyone when you're about to take your exam. Maybe if you have to get off of work, tell your employer, like maybe tell them like I have to take my exam, or just make something up like I have a prior commitment, I'll be in late. Take PTO if you have to. The first 2 times, actually all 3 times I told people, just because by the 3rd time I was like, if I fail again, I don't even care like what people think of me. But I wish I wouldn't have told anybody, because then when you go into, like, you feel like you have all this pressure on you, like, oh my gosh, if I don't pass, like, everyone's gonna think I'm dumb and incapable of doing my job, which no one thinks that. Like, everyone I work with was super supportive and wanted me to pass, obviously. So just don't tell anybody. And like your close family, obviously you can. And that's, I guess, a personal preference one, but I believe that it takes the pressure off of you when you're not telling anyone. So that is just what I have for like kind of before the exam. And now how to prepare for the exam, which is what most of you guys want to know, as well as what's going to be on the exam, which I will get to, so just keep watching. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes, but how to prepare. So I'm not going to go over the first 2 times I took the exam because those were bad outcomes. I failed, so I'm going to go over everything I did the 3rd time around. Okay, so I purchased the study guide through the NHA website. I highly recommend that. It's a little pricey. I believe it was $79 for the modules and quizzes, and then the 200 question exam at the end. I want to say it was at least 100 questions at the end. But so there's 15 or 17 modules from medical terminology, nutrition. So you go into each module and then it will have like an overview where it just goes over everything, and then it'll have a 15 question quiz after, and you do those. You can do it as many times as you need. And whatever I would do is, if I would get an answer wrong or a question wrong, I would write it down on a notebook, and I would have like nutrition, and then all the ones I got wrong, or all the ones that I got right but I like guessed and I only got it right because I guessed. And then you can either write them down or make flashcards, so you can get the plain white ones or the colored ones, and have like pink be nutrition, green be microbiology, whatever you want to do just to get yourself organized. And then when you're looking at the color, you're going to say green, microbiology. Okay, so that kind of helps you, but then on the test it's not going to be color coded, so there's always pros and cons to things like that. So after you do all your modules and go through the quizzes, there is a final exam at the end, and that you can take up to 6 times. I only took it twice because I don't know, I probably ran out of time or something. I probably should have taken it more because I paid for it, but I mean, I passed and I only took it twice. So there's that. Obviously, I'm gonna 100% recommend the study guide because I did pass using the study guide, and they even can give you like printable ones where either you can print out or they send it to you, I believe, but I just opted for the online one because it's just easier, and I only had to take this around with me. And also, I would always go to coffee shops, well, Starbucks mostly, and just sit there for hours and just do these modules and study guides. There's also a thing on the website where you can press audio and it'll read it to you, so you can listen and look, so you're using more of your, what is that, senses, your sight and hearing. depending on if you're a visual or audio learner. I'm really neither. I'm like a demonstration type of learner, so when I can use 2 different learning whatever, it helps me a lot. So I recommend pressing the audio button, putting your headphones in, and just looking and listening. And then if that's not in your budget, which I totally understand because it is quite expensive, and I think I forgot to mention the exam itself was $110 around that mark, and then the study guide was like $79. So it's expensive. You don't want to fail, because not only do you have to take the time out of your day to take it again and the stress of taking it again, but it's like it's over $100. Then you have to drive to the testing site, and it's just a pain in the butt. And if that doesn't motivate you enough to pass, then I don't know what will, because taking tests is just not for me. But it's okay because I passed. So this is another study material I can link down below for you guys. It is just the CMA exam preparation study guide. It gives you testing tips, and then it's all broken down into anatomy, physiology, professionalism, administrative concepts, clinical concepts, just everything you learned in school crammed into one exam. So this was $33 from Barnes & Noble. I can try to link it from Amazon. It'll probably be cheaper. I liked it because there is room to write notes. However, it's not like a matching type of book where you can draw lines or anything like that. It's basically just a textbook with words and bullet points. And then at the end there is 150 questions. Yeah, 150 question quiz, and it does give you the correct answer. Okay. So an example, I'll give you guys an example. A female patient weighs 176 pounds. What's the patient's weight in kilograms? So on my test, I was able to use a calculator. I'm sure all exams are able to use the calculator, but you just need to take 176, and then you want to divide it by 2.2, because from kilograms to pounds it's times 2.2, and from pounds to kilograms you want to divide it 2.2. So the answer would be C, which is 80 kilograms, and it tells you how you get it. So there was a few questions like that on my exam, like pounds to kilograms, kilograms to pounds. So make sure you know that. Then there's just stuff on like precautions, OSHA, the CLIA lab, what's it called? CLIA wave lab testing, HIPAA, scheduling, power of attorney stuff, law, literally so much stuff. I'm like having bad memories looking through this stuff. Okay, so if the $79 study guide is not in your budget, I would at least get something like this. Or if you really just can't afford it, which is totally understandable, there are online quizzes. I can try to find some of them. I never found a super good, reliable one, but they are better than nothing. It gives you the idea or the mindset of taking the test, which I think helps, but just don't do nothing. I know it's hard to start and it's scary to even think about studying for a big exam like this, but you won't regret any time you spent studying. As much as you don't want to study, just do it, just start. Literally, I brought all of my books up here from the basement to show you guys like other things you can do to study for free. So let me show you. My medical terminology book from high school that I took senior year. Oops, that's a hall pass. So my medical terminology book had a bunch of like work activities or exercises, which you could go through. This is like word roots and stuff, so I didn't really need to worry about that too much, but let me try to find a good example. For like the male reproductive system, here is like a matching activity that I had in my textbook, so you can review all of that. You can make flashcards out of it. You already have the textbook, so just use your resources for what you already have. And then I have all my lab books and my human body books. And then if you have any of your old study guides, go through them, rewrite them. I feel like that kind of goes without saying, but don't be afraid to use what you already have. I didn't do that as much as I should have, I feel like. I didn't review my old material. I kind of went out and tried to learn new material, which was basically the same thing but different wording of everything. So that's kind of how I prepared. It's nothing too special. I mean, you buy the study guide or you use what you have. I went to coffee shops. I would have my family members quiz me or read me a question and I would try to answer it. If group studying is your thing, definitely try to get a group of classmates together. And then what everyone wants to know is like what's on the exam. So I can't give you guys like exact questions. One, that's like illegal, and two, I don't remember them. But I will tell you, from the 2 exams I took first and then the 3rd one, they were all different questions. They must have like a million variations of the test, which kind of sucks. But so you're gonna want to really focus on phlebotomy, the order of draw, what tube color you would use for certain labs. Those are going to be questions. Okay, so since I don't really use phlebotomy in my job, I went to the workbook page all about phlebotomy, because when I tell you that I remembered this stuff for my exams and then forgot it, that's the truth, because I don't use this. If I worked in a lab and did phlebotomy, obviously I would remember it and learn it again. And if for whatever reason I do need to know it, it's what you can look things up for. So I know it's really frustrating, like, why am I even trying to remember all this? I don't even need to use it for my job. That's how I also feel about like insurance and stuff. Like at my job, the medical assistants don't worry about any of that. We are strictly like clinic side, so that's also frustrating. But an example would be, what additive is, what color tube is the additive EDTA? And then you know that that would be a lavender top tube. So questions like that, or where's the best place to collect blood from a baby? And then it would be like the heel, or if you're having a tough time getting a blood draw on a frail 90-year-old woman, what would you do? And you'd use the butterfly needle. So start with go back to the basics, because the basics are going to help you with process of elimination when it comes to exam day. Like, you don't need to know everything, you just need to know a little bit, so then your process of elimination is a lot easier, and then it's down to like a 50-50 chance, and then your odds are a lot better. Which I'm not saying like don't worry about it, you'll be fine, but you're not gonna know every answer on this test, and that's just like important to remember. Like, you can still get a lot wrong and still pass. So I believe the passing score is a 135 for the NHA, and I got a 146. So I passed with a little bit to spare, but not much. But when I was taking it, when I tell you I thought I failed, I'm not kidding. I was like, I don't even feel like I know any of this. But don't doubt yourself, because you're a lot smarter than you think you are, and your brain holds on to a lot of information you thought you forgot, you didn't even think you knew, but you do know. So you're going to want to study a lot of phlebotomy, and that's just a lot of the questions. And then biohazard symbols are a big one, like what color does this stand for? Then your EKG, there's going to be a lot of questions on that, like which electrode do you place on this part of your body? So you do a Quizlet, make flashcards on all of the electrodes and where they go on the body. Or another question was like, what is the most common type of diabetes in the US? So a lot of the questions are pretty easy, but they're so easy sometimes that you make yourself second guess. You're like, wait, what? Is it type 1? Is it type 2? Like, it is type 2, by the way. And then something else that was on my test a lot was positions, like a patient's about to get a pelvic exam, which position would you go in? Or for a rectal exam, what position would you put them in? Or for a abdominal examination. So again, make flashcards on that. So that is everything that I did to prepare and what you can expect for the exam. Also, go to the exam early, don't run late, that'll just cause you stress. If you have to use the bathroom in the middle of the exam, get up, ask the proctor. I think that's what they're called. If you can go, like, just take it easy. If you fail, don't consider yourself a failure. That's why they give you multiple tries. And I just want you guys to know, if you're watching this and you're about to take your exam, you will pass eventually. It might not be the first time, it might not be the second. Coming from someone that failed twice before they passed, I didn't think I would pass ever. I thought I'd have to give up my career of being a medical assistant. I'm glad I didn't give up. You shouldn't either. You will pass, and I know you will, because if I can, anybody can, and that's like being 100% honest. You'll pass, so don't worry about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you enough information to help you feel a little bit less stress and a little bit more relief when it comes to taking your certification exam. I covered as much as I can, honestly. Like, I am not the best student, so I don't have the best study techniques. Just don't give up, keep trying, prioritize your time, give yourself 2 hours a day, an hour a day, take a day off here and there. Like, it's okay. I think this is my last thing of advice, is if you're working right now as a medical assistant, just not a certified one, and you work with nurses or other medical assistants, during your lunch break, take your books and study and have them quiz you, because they obviously are going to know a lot of stuff, especially if they're nurses. The nurse I worked with always helped me if I had any questions while studying. She always let me study like during lunch and stuff, and would help me and quiz me, and it was really helpful. So that was awesome. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more medical assisting related videos. Leave a comment down below if you have any more specific questions. I'm sorry if I didn't touch on everything. Even with my notes, I feel like sometimes I get off track. But yeah, stay tuned for a how I studied for MA school. I hope I can make that video at least a little helpful. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting the deep.